It's Sunday morning on CBS. And here again is Jane Pauley.
Don't Bring Me Down was a big hit for the Electric Light Orchestra. Today, the band's known as Jeff Lynne's ELO, after its founder, who's been a force in the world of pop music for decades. With David Pogue, we take note.
In the 70s and 80s, Electric Light Orchestra, the British rock band with the string section, lit up the charts. ELO, as fans called it, sold more than 50 million albums, with songs like Livin Thing,
It's a living thing.
Evil Woman, and my favorite, Mr. Blue Sky.
Mr. Blue Sky is living in the day. Hey.
There's a big hole up there, and it's just in the earthquakes they tend to jiggle.
Jeff Lynne, the man behind the shades, was the man behind ELO until he disbanded the group in 1986. But now, 30 years later, Jeff Lynne's ELO is back on tour and back in the spotlight. I went to the Madison Square Garden concert with my family, and the place was packed, and people were screaming and singing along and dancing.
I was there as well. I find it shocking every time I come out of the dressing room, looking out at the crowd and going, I can never be more amazed every night. Just go, what? It's filled to the top, right to the roof, you know. That's the most marvelous thing that could ever happen for me.
That is not the reaction his music got from his parents growing up in working-class Birmingham, England. What did your dad think of your music?
Not a lot, really. I mean, Mum wasn't keen at all on my stuff.
Really?
Not really, no. She didn't like the way I sung either. And she hated the falsetto bit.
But the falsetto stayed. It became a key ingredient in the ELO recipe, a hearty helping of vocal harmonies, a splash of classical, and a bit of Beatles. Lynne writes almost every ELO song, produces every album, and sings every track, and always wears those shades. Do you ever take the sunglasses off?
Never.
Really?
Yeah. I just like myself better with them on. I'm less shy with them on, probably.
Are you a shy guy?
I am a shy guy, yeah.
Shy enough that after ELO broke up, Lynne spent the next 30 years in an off-stage role, writing and producing songs for other musicians, starting with the late George Harrison of the Beatles.
I produced George's album,
I got my mind set on it.
Cloud 9, and that was a big smash, and it sold millions of copies. And so it was a great start for me as producer of somebody else.
Now I'm free.
Lynne went on to write and produce for Tom Petty, Roy Orbison, Del Shannon, Brian Wilson, even Aerosmith. And in 1994, he got a producing offer he couldn't refuse.
One of the big things I did was record the Beatles, like to produce the Beatles, 2 singles.
Jeff Lynne is the man who got the Beatles back together.
Yeah.
The late John Lennon had left behind 2 demo recordings on old tapes. Jeff Lynne mixed in the 3 remaining Beatles and created the first new Beatles songs in 24 years. In a 2012 documentary, Paul McCartney remembers the day.
Even though John was no longer on this planet, here he was in the studio with us. And it was very special, you know, it's all of us like, wow.
In 1988, George Harrison approached Lynne with a crazy idea.
You know what? Me and you should have a group. And I thought, that's nice. I said, who should we have in it? And he said, Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan? Okay, that's a good idea. And then I said, can we have Roy Orbison? And he said, I did. And he said, yeah, I love Roy.
Everybody's got somebody.
Tom Petty joined too, and the traveling Wilburys was born.
Put your body next to mine and dream on.
These days, Lynne devotes most of his time once again to the band now called Jeff Lynne's ELO. He's just toured 30 U.S. cities, written 10 new songs, and last week, at age 71, released a new album called From Out of Nowhere. You're obviously singing and playing guitar.
Yeah.
And who's playing keyboards?
Me.
And who plays bass?
Me.
Who plays the drums?
Me.
You play everything on the album.
Yeah, and I sing everything.
And I heard these voices calling all over the world.
So let's recap. You're a shy, reluctant rock star who's a perfectionist and a genius. Does that work?
Oh, I don't know about the last bit.